The Prime Day deals just keep coming. Yes, another Prime Day video, but this one has an exclusive deal inside. I'm going to tell you about some of my favorite Thread devices and why Arre might just be the one-stop shop you are looking for Thread essentials to round out your network.
I'm Patrick Hunt, and I want you to like smart home tech as much as I do. Real solutions with Matter, Apple Home, and a little creativity. Weekly, I'll show you how small upgrades can make a big difference. Welcome.
What better way to follow up my first sponsored video than with my second sponsored video? This video is sponsored by Arre. But let me tell you a little bit about Arre. They are a US-based small business out of New York. And I contacted them really early in my YouTube journey, like when I had a few dozen people watching my videos. And I said, hey, I've got a bathroom fan automation idea. Will you send me a humidity sensor? And they said, sure. Here is our Arre temperature sensor. And then not long later, I said, hey, I have a contact sensor idea for a sleeping baby. And they said, sure, have the Arre contact sensor. And then there was the hidden button idea in the nursery, and they sent me the Arre smart button. And it was the warm welcome that I needed as a content creator to give me that motivation to keep going. So I was more than happy to get this video out early this week to feature a brand that I really believe in. And just a reminder, the Prime Day event is the 8th through the 11th. Arre currently has 3 devices on the market with a 4th coming soon. All the devices are Matter over Thread sleepy end devices. These devices sleep most of the time to minimize power consumption and are not used as routing points in the Thread network because they're battery powered. There's the Arre contact sensor, the Arre temperature sensor, and the Arre smart button. It's great to have devices around the house like the smart bulbs, the switches, and the plugs and fans and other devices. But it's when you start adding sensors into the mix for automations like the temperature sensor or the contact sensor that your smart home really goes from beginner to expert. And I like buttons in addition to automations because I retain that immediate control for scenes or devices. There are several factors that all 3 of these devices have in common that just keep me coming back to Arre products. The first is build quality. All 3 of them feel very solidly built, but the Arre smart button in particular has some weight to it due to that magnetic backing that it has on it. The second is form factor. I really like the idea that all 3 of these can just be kind of hidden around the house and someone walking in the house doesn't see sensors everywhere they turn. The third is connection stability. I have automations that really rely on the 2 sensors and scenes that I run with the buttons. And they've been flawless and I've never had a connection issue. And the last thing is price. They are very fairly priced as Thread devices, especially not needing to buy a hub with them as well. Now, if you had, say, one of each of these devices, you could have a button next to your bed that controls your night light or your reading light. You could have the Arre temperature sensor in your bedroom that automatically turns the overhead fan on if your temperature rises above 72 degrees at nighttime. And you could have a contact sensor on any door, drawer, or cabinet that you want to use for security or other automations. But maybe you want 3 buttons. I could have a button, she could have a button, and he could have a button. Or 3 contact sensors for your front door, your back door, or your garage door, or your basement door. Or maybe you want to mix it up and you do 2 contact sensors and a button, or a button and 2 temperature sensors, and you put those 2 temperature sensors in the rooms that matter most, like your bedrooms. So why am I going on and on about mixing and matching 3 devices? Well, that's the exclusive deal. If you order 3 Arre devices from the website specifically, not Amazon, during the Prime Day event, which is July 8th through the 11th, 2025, then you will receive an Arre contact sensor in your shipment for free. So that's 4 devices for the price of 3, and those 3 devices are 25% off for the entire month of July on the Arre website. This deal is one that Arre and I kind of cooked up together, and I was pleasantly surprised at their willingness to really get creative. But I wouldn't expect a deal like this to come around again soon. Of course, you can buy individual devices on Amazon or the Arre site as well. With 25% off, the Arre smart button comes down to around $26 from $35. The Arre temperature sensor comes down to $30 from $40. And the Arre contact sensor comes down to around $22 from $30. These devices are compatible with all the smart home ecosystems through the Matter integration, and they do require a Thread border router. Honestly, in my house, the Arre temperature sensor and the Arre contact sensor both have very specific uses, which you can watch in the linked videos below. It was the Arre smart button that really started transforming my house into real convenience for the whole family. Additionally, this button is one of the only battery-powered buttons on the market that does not require an additional hub. So I'm really happy with these 3 devices. I really don't have any complaints. I have a ton of them around my house, and I hope you do soon as well. Thanks again to Arre for always supporting my channel and for sponsoring this video. If you haven't yet, please go do some shopping today and like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.